She had everything money could buy: mansions, luxury cars, and a closet full of designer clothes. But all she wanted was a man who earned less than 20,000 Nigerian naira a week driving a Danfo bus. Her name: Adanna Williams, only daughter of one of Nigeria's wealthiest men. And her choice changed everything. What her husband hid from her would shake not just her world, but the entire Williams empire. This is the story of secrets, betrayal, and a love that defied wealth. Before we dive into this scandalous story, make sure you hit that subscribe button and turn on the bell, because this channel is where the truth behind the riches is always revealed. Adanna Williams was the only child of Chief Bartholomew Williams, a man who made his billions from oil, real estate, and politics. The Williams name alone opened doors. At 27, Adanna had never been told no a day in her life. She lived in Banana Island, attended Oxford, and drove a custom-made Range Rover gifted to her on her 25th birthday. Her Instagram was filled with vacations in Santorini, Paris, and Cape Town. But beneath the gloss, Adanna was deeply lonely. She had grown tired of fake friends, Instagram boys, and shallow men chasing her for clout. One rainy morning in Lagos, her driver called in sick. Against her father's orders, she decided to take a ride in a local bus to experience normal life, just for fun. That's when she met Ibuka. Ibuka was rough, muscular, and wore a fading Arsenal jersey. But his smile, warm. His voice, confident. He treated her like a regular passenger, not a princess. When he offered her his only bottle of water after the sun came out, something clicked. They met again. And again. Within 2 months, they were secretly dating. Ibuka didn't know she was a billionaire's daughter. She told him her name was just Anna and that she worked at a travel agency. They ate suya together, watched movies in small cinemas, and laughed under the moonlight. For the first time in her life, Adanna felt alive. But Lagos has eyes. One day, a family friend saw her kissing Ibuka in public. And within 24 hours, Chief Bartholomew Williams summoned her. "You are dating who?" he shouted. "A bus driver. Do you want to stain our name? Do you want to kill me before my time?" Adanna stood firm. "Daddy, I love him. He treats me better than all the rich boys you parade around me. I won't leave him." Her father gave her a choice. 1. Leave Ibuka and remain an heiress. 2. Or marry him and be disowned, cut off from the Williams fortune forever. To everyone's shock, she chose Ibuka. Adanna moved out of her father's mansion that same night. No security. No cooks. No housekeepers. Just her, a few bags, and a broken heart. She moved into a small one-bedroom apartment in Surulere with Ibuka. There was no AC, no marble floors, and the mattress lay directly on the floor. But in her eyes, it was a palace, because she was with the man she loved. Ibuka, surprised and overwhelmed by her decision, promised to work harder to give her a better life. He took extra shifts driving the bus and sometimes even fixed vehicles at night. Adanna, using a fake name, got a small job as a receptionist at a travel agency. They struggled, but they smiled through the pain. Soon, they decided to marry. The wedding was small. Just 14 plastic chairs, pure water for guests, and a borrowed sound system. Adanna wore a simple gown rented for 5,000 Nigerian nairas. Her makeup was done by Ibuka's younger sister. There was no father to walk her down the aisle. Chief Bartholomew Williams had blocked her number. Her mother had secretly sent her a Bible and a tear-soaked note. "Your heart is brave, but the world is cruel. I pray your love survives it." Still, the wedding was beautiful. People danced in the dusty compound as a small local band played. Even strangers joined in, amazed that a normal girl could be so happy with a bus driver. But what Adanna didn't know was that Ibuka was hiding something. A guest at the wedding, an old friend of Ibuka's, pulled him aside and whispered, "You didn't tell her the truth yet. Bro, it will destroy her when she finds out." Ibuka waved him off. "Not now. Let me have this moment." But secrets, especially dark ones, don't stay buried forever. 3 months into the marriage, Adanna began noticing things. Ibuka would receive strange calls late at night and step outside to answer them. He started coming home late without explanation. Sometimes, she would find him staring blankly at the wall, lost in thought. When she asked questions, he'd smile and say, "Baby, don't worry. I'm just tired. I'm working hard for us." But something wasn't right. Then it happened. One afternoon, while Ibuka was in the shower, Adanna's phone rang. It was from an unknown number. She ignored it until it called again. And again. Finally, she picked up. "Is this Anna? Ibuka's wife?" "Yes." "Who's this?" "This is Chioma, the mother of his child." Adanna froze. Chioma continued. "I know you don't know me. But you need to know the truth. Ibuka abandoned me and our 6-year-old daughter in Onitsha. He promised to marry me too. He never told you, did he?" Adanna dropped the phone. Her hands shook as she stared at Ibuka walking out of the bathroom, smiling, unaware of what just happened. She looked at him, heartbreaking, eyes filled with tears. "Is it true?" she asked, her voice barely a whisper. Ibuka's smile faded. He sat down, held his head, and sighed. "Adanna, I was going to tell you. I just didn't know how. I didn't plan for this. I didn't plan for you." He confessed that he had a daughter from a past relationship, one he never supported financially. When Adanna asked why he lied, his answer shattered her. "Because I didn't think you'd stay if you knew. You're from a billionaire family. I'm just a guy trying to survive." Adanna walked out of the house that night with nothing but her phone and her broken heart. She wandered the streets, trying to make sense of everything. She had given up her wealth, her family, her identity, for a man who had been living a lie. What she didn't know was that this heartbreak was only the beginning. Because Ibuka's secrets went far deeper than. 3 days after Adanna left, she was sitting in a small guest house, her phone switched off, trying to disappear from the world. But pain has a way of knocking, even when you lock all the doors. A strange knock came at her door. She opened it, and found a police officer standing there. "Are you Mrs. Adanna Williams?" Her heart raced. "Yes. We need you to come with us. It's regarding your husband, Ibuka is." At the police station, Adanna was shown something that made her stomach turn. A video recording, pulled from the CCTV of a shrine in Anambra State, dated 2 years ago. In the shaky footage, a younger Ibuka could be seen kneeling shirtless before a native doctor, holding what looked like a small goat, and beside him, a picture of a woman. The woman in the picture. Adanna Williams. She watched, breath frozen, as Ibuka was seen making incantations, followed by the native doctor speaking in Igbo. "You want her to fall in love with you? A billionaire's daughter. Do you know the price of that kind of favor?" Ibuka nodded. "I'll do anything." Adanna covered her mouth in shock. "It was never love. It was Juju," the officer explained. "He visited the shrine multiple times. The charm was for wealth attraction and love manipulation. He targeted you. And now the chief priest he worked with has been arrested in a murder investigation. That's how we got this footage." Tears rolled down Adanna's face. Everything made sense now, how quickly she fell for him, how deep she trusted him, how she abandoned her entire life for him. It wasn't love. It was spiritual manipulation. She returned home that night with her world shattered into a million unfixable pieces. But she wasn't done yet. "He used Juju to get me," she whispered to herself, staring at the ceiling. "Then I used truth to destroy him." She wasn't just going to walk away. She was going to expose. For days, Adanna disappeared from the public eye, but she wasn't idle. She hired a private investigator, used connections from her past life, and started digging into Ibuka's history. And what she discovered shocked her even more. Ibuka wasn't even his real name. His real name was Chukwuebuka Kolu, a street boy raised in Onitsha with a long criminal record, petty theft, fraud, and even one case of attempted identity impersonation. He had changed his name, left town, and started driving a Danfo bus in Lagos to stay off the radar. But it was his last ex, Chioma, who gave Adanna the final puzzle piece. He told me years ago that he would marry money, by force or by charm. I didn't believe him. But it looks like he meant it after all. Armed with evidence and rage, Adanna returned to her father. She stood outside her father's estate in Banana Island for 7 hours. Rain drenched her to the skin. But she didn't leave. When Chief Williams finally opened the gates, he saw a daughter no longer broken, but burning with purpose. She didn't beg. She didn't cry. She presented everything. The shrine footage. His fake identity. The love scam. And the child he abandoned. Chief Williams sat in silence. Then he picked up the phone and made 2 calls. One to the Commissioner of Police. 2, another to a popular journalist. If he wanted to mess with my legacy, then I will show him what it means to awaken a sleeping lion, the chief said. The next morning, it was everywhere. Fire, billionaire's daughter scammed by fake bus driver in alleged Juju marriage. Fire, the man who used rituals to marry wealth exposed. Ibuka was arrested at Ojulegba Park. His phone was full of audio recordings and messages detailing his plan to trap, impregnate, and control Adanna to gain access to her family's estate. But now, the trap had flipped, and he was the prey. Ibuka sat in the courtroom, hands cuffed, head bowed. His once proud smile had vanished. The evidence was overwhelming. Not only had he used spiritual manipulation to entrap Adanna, but records showed he had also defrauded 3 other women across 3 different states, all with similar patterns: love, lies, and charm. Chief Williams, though powerful and feared, remained silent throughout the trial. But it was Adanna's testimony that shook the nation. She stood in front of the judge, cameras rolling, and said, "I love the man who lied to me, who used darkness to gain access to my heart. But I will not let this break me. I am not just a billionaire's daughter. I am a woman who rose from heartbreak to healing." The courtroom clapped. In the end, Ibuka was sentenced to 25 years in prison for fraud, identity theft, and spiritual coercion with intent to manipulate. His family begged for mercy. But Adanna? She gave none. Sunrise months later. Adanna didn't return to Banana Island. Instead, she opened a foundation for women who had been manipulated, abused, or trapped in toxic relationships. She called it the Lioness Project. Her story inspired thousands of women across Africa to speak up. Her interviews went viral. Brands offered her ambassador deals. And she became more powerful than her father ever imagined. As for Chief Williams, one evening, he visited her foundation unannounced. They hadn't spoken in nearly a year. He walked in, silent, and handed her an envelope. Inside was a will. He had named Adanna as his sole heir. "You proved something greater than strength," he told her. "You proved resilience. You carry the Williams name not because of blood, but because of fire." They hugged for the first time in years. Moral of the story: love without honesty is poison. No matter how beautiful the lie, truth always finds its way through. And sometimes, the pain we go through is the fire that forges our power. If this story moved you, inspired you, or shook you, make sure to subscribe, like, and share. We tell the truth behind the riches, where love, betrayal, and power collide in the heart of Africa. Turn on your notification bell so you never miss another story like this.